Interesting development from yesterday in the Deshaun Watson civil cases. A judge in Texas ruled as part of the pretrial discovery efforts, and that's when you have different devices available to find out information. There was a set of what they call requests for admission that were submitted to Deshaun Watson. It's written questions. It basically says, not even questions. It says, admit this, admit that, admit this, admit that, and you have to respond. You either admit it or deny it. And if you deny it, you have to explain why you deny it. And apparently there were some admissions requested from Deshaun Watson regarding whether and to what extent he had consensual sexual encounters with any of the 18 massage therapists who came forward last year to support him. Remember that weird back and forth?
Yeah.
There's 22 massage therapists saying he crossed the line, and then all of a sudden they issued on one day this long list of 18 people, and they each had a paragraph or so that said, guy never did anything wrong. For me, he was perfect gentleman, whatever the specific words were. The idea was to counter this narrative that there's 22 who are saying he crossed the line. Here's 18 who said he never did anything wrong. Now, remember how it kind of blew up in their faces because the big takeaway was he's got 40 different people who have given him
yes,
a
exactly.
Like, what?
Right.
That was the unintended consequence of doing that. But here's what the judges ruled. As to those 18 individuals who came forward, Watson now must say whether or not he had consensual sex with any of them. The judge drew the line between the 18 who came forward and other massage therapists that Watson may have had consensual sex with during massage sessions who haven't come forward. Now, I don't understand that dividing line, but I guess the argument is if you've come forward as part of this case, Watson talking about whether he had consensual sex during a massage that you provided him is fair game. And here's why it's relevant. Here's the argument, and I buy this argument. The argument is this. The 22 individuals who say Deshaun Watson crossed the line during these massage sessions, they're basically saying he had expectations that I didn't intend to fulfill.
Right.
He came to massage thinking it was going to be more than that at some point, or hoping at some point it would be more than that, and maybe trying at some point to make it more than that. So if you can prove that he has a habit, a pattern, a practice of massage sessions that become more than that, that becomes relevant to his state of mind as he walks through the door. What does he really
expect or want
this to become?
Right.
Yeah. Is he just there for a massage, or is he there for the possibility of a massage plus?
Right.
And what is he going to do to make it move in that direction? Is it something the massage therapist initiates? Is it something he initiates? Does it take a few tries? And in his effort of trying, does he cross the line? So I think it's highly relevant. And frankly, I think it's fair to ask him, without naming the names of the massage therapist, I think it's fair to ask him all the times in his life that he's gone for a massage, that it's turned into something more than a massage, because it shows what he's thinking when he's interacting with the 22 people who claim he crossed the line. Now, Watson's perspective, go ahead and ask the question, because there's more to this story.
I know.
Go ahead,
I guess the first thing I just want to ask, as a novice here a little bit, is just what I was confused about is the grand jury didn't indict him, right? I thought he was kind of like off the hook in this department here. That's where I guess so the judge can basically, will he
Fair question.
Right, okay,
Different
so explain
cases.
that. Yeah, okay.
Different cases.
It is.
Two worlds, just so we're clear.
Yeah, okay, good.
And that's good that you asked that question.
All right.
Because I'm sure there are people out there who think it's over. It's done. Two different grand juries declined to issue any criminal charges against Deshaun Watson. It's over. No, it's not. There's 22 civil cases where individuals have exercised their right to go to the civil justice system and say that Deshaun Watson engaged in behavior directed to me that I disagree with, that violates my rights and requires him to compensate me in some way for the harm that he has done to me. No different than the wrongful death lawsuits that were filed against O.J. Simpson and that were pursued at a trial that he lost after he was acquitted in criminal court and found responsible in civil court for the deaths of... Right, so this is all civil.
I didn't realize it was all civil still. Okay, got you.
The criminal stuff's over, although in theory there could be a presentation of charges again in either of the two counties in Texas, or the feds could be cooking up something regarding bringing people across state lines for illicit sexual purposes that we don't know about. They're not going to tell us about until it's time to drop the indictment. So it's not entirely done, guaranteed 100% over, but people are assuming the criminal side is over. Until further notice that we don't really expect, but we don't know for sure, it's over. Civil side, it's on full boil. That's the testimony that we saw from him, the snippet a week or two ago when, he was given that kind of awkward answer about, well, did you find her attractive? Well, I have a girlfriend. Remember that? We talked about that one day. I think you were on that day.
I was there. I remember.
We don't work all 5 days. I can't remember which days we talked about it and we didn't. But from Watson's perspective, and the phone call I got last night on this, the person never invoked going off the record, but I'll go ahead and respect that. I got a phone call from someone connected to the case last night who was not happy with how I characterized this. And the argument is, how is allowing discovery of Deshaun Watson's potential consensual sexual encounters with other massage therapists any different than asking a woman who claims she was the victim of sexual assault about her sex life beyond that incident? How is it any different? And it was a very aggressive and angry call. Ultimately, I think we agreed to disagree at the end of the day. I didn't engage. I know people have a job to do and they're trying to represent the guy. They're trying to advocate for his interests. I get it. But here's how it's different. If anyone out there is wondering, hey, I thought that these things were off limits, that you can't get into people's other sexual relationships and encounters when you're talking about specific other ones that are material to the case. Here's how it would be different. If Deshaun Watson were claiming that he had 22 different massages, and during those massages, 22 different massage therapists crossed the line with him over his objection and against his wishes, and he were the alleged victim in these 22 cases, it would not be appropriate for the 22 massage therapists accused of wrongdoing to say, well, Deshaun Watson had consensual sexual encounters with other massage therapists, so he can't complain here. That's when it would be off limits, in my view.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's not off limits to say and to try to prove that this guy has a habit of hiring massage therapists and having it take a sexual turn. That shows what he's thinking as he shows up, disrobes, and does whatever it is he's accused of doing from the moment the massage begins to the moment it ends with the massage therapist saying, sorry, that's not what you're paying for here. I'm not going to do that. So I think it's fair game for discovery. Whether or not it all comes into evidence at trial is a different issue. But I think it's very fair game to have this information developed because it does show what he's thinking. If every other massage he ever got, other than the 22 that he's being sued for, resulted in a consensual sexual encounter, that shows this guy thinks that that's just how it goes. That's how it goes.
Right.
It's part of why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's part of why I'm finding sexual, or not sexual, it's why I'm finding massage therapists on Instagram, because I think /hope/believe it's going to take a turn.
Right.
At some point. So I think it's fair game. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the people who strongly disagree with me and are willing to call me up at 10 o'clock at night and chew on me for 20 minutes. I'm sorry that we disagree, but we do. And this isn't anti-Deshaun. This is pro-truth. I think it's fair to know what he's thinking when he goes into those 22 massage therapy sessions. And there's ways to protect these other individuals. Protective order. Or Jane Doe number 1, Jane Doe number 2. We don't need to know their names. We just need to know what he's thinking when he goes into these massages.
Yeah, agreed. I would, that sounds like fair game to me. It definitely does. In this type of case, I think you laid it out perfectly. I don't look at that and go, oh, that's unfair, or, man, they're violating Deshaun Watson's rights there. I think you said it right. Even the first example you gave, if it was the other way around or vice versa there, okay, then that would be a different story for Deshaun Watson. But, man, I mean, this is, I guess, this is a big thing. I mean, it definitely is. And the fact that the judge ruled this way, I mean, I have a hard time believing that, again, this is going to go under the deposition thing, right? Just a little bit like what we saw a clip from. Will it be the same type of thing, Mike, where he'll be questioned about, at some point, he's going to be questioned about all of the other people that he got massages from, where it became a consensual sexual encounter, at least as to the 18 who came forward. That's what I don't understand it. The test shouldn't be he's allowed to be asked about the 18 who came forward to support him. It should be any time he's ever had a massage turn into something more than that, because that shows his state of mind. And again, you can protect
the individuals, because that's how it was presented to me. Why do these people now have to be dragged through this? Why do they have to be flagged in these depositions as someone who participated in these consensual sexual encounters? That's not fair to them. I think there's ways to protect them if you want to protect them. That can be done. But that's where it stands. And
so deposition going to be on video. Busby's going to
Yes.
release some of the answers. You're going to hear that. The Browns and Jimmy Haslam, they're going to have to hear it. It's Kevin Stefanski. I mean, oh my gosh. It's a big blow to the PR machine that the Cleveland Browns are trying to spin right now to make this thing look better. I mean, they're nowhere near out of the woods in this one yet.
And here's the big takeaway. And this is fairly obvious, but we need to say it so people understand. He fought and objected to and went to court over whether or not he'd have to answer these questions. If the answer to the questions is no, it didn't happen with these other 18 people, he wouldn't have fought. He just would have answered and said, no, it didn't happen. So it doesn't take a genius, which qualifies me to say this. The answer is going to be, as to one or more of these 18 people, yes, it did. Yeah, it did. It did become a consensual sexual encounter. And we've already had his lawyer, Rusty Hardin, admit a year ago that some of these massage therapy sessions became consensual sexual encounters. So that they're kind of in a box on this, and maybe that's why they lashed out a little bit last night. You know, they say if the facts are on your side, pound on the facts. If the law's on your side, pound on the law. If nothing's on your side, pound on the table. I was the table that got pounded on for about 20 minutes last night because of what I had to say about it. But you really did. Look,
I like this guy. Whoever he is, I like him. I don't know much about him, but I like him if he pounds on you. I like it.
Do you really think that getting mad at me is going to cause me to say less about something, or is it going to cause me to say more about something? Of the two. I mean, ultimately, it's got no effect.
Ultimately, you got to know you. Yeah, right.
Ultimately, it's got no effect. And I'm not going to go overboard to retaliate. I won't do that either. But it's definitely not going to cause me to shut up about it. That's for damn sure. And if you don't know that about me by now, you haven't been paying attention.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.